Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Thank God, it is another day. Today is something I feel I should share with all of you, and particularly those who are in the process of pursuing knowledge. Of course, we need not forget that knowledge begins from the cradle to the grave. And therefore in life, we are always learning, whether at home, in school, or at work. I must admit that the road to knowledge sometimes can get a little bit rough, can get a little bit disappointing, discouraging. And therefore, one needs to have sometimes both internal and external drives that will make him or her continue with the effort of looking, searching, and acquiring knowledge. My dear brothers and sisters, sustaining that interest, sustaining that desire, sustaining that push for you to be able to reach the highest levels of learning, you need what psychologists will call motivation. You need to have a personal commitment. You need to know exactly what is it that you must look up to in order to continue struggling to become a knowledgeable person. For me, today, I want to use the same word, motivation, to drive the lessons that we can learn from it for us to keep on pushing in search for knowledge. The M in the word motivation. It is now quite clear that for you to be able to continue learning or doing anything in life, you must know the reason why you're doing it. Therefore, you must define the meaning of why you are doing what you're doing. So the letter N in the word motivation is you can never have the power of continuing doing what you're doing if you don't know the reason why you are doing it. They say the moment you know the reason why you are learning, learning becomes easy. Most people get discouraged and leave learning because they don't know the reason why they are learning. Some of us, the reason could be we want to improve our lives. Some of us, the reason could be we want to serve our community. Some of us, the reason could be we want to promote the image of Islam. But at the end of the day, the meaning is very, very important, because the purpose of living is knowing the meaning why you are living and the purpose of learning. And for you to be able to learn continuously, you must know the reason why you are learning. If your dream is to become a medical doctor, that's now the reason. That's the meaning why you are learning. And therefore you won't get tired of learning, because you know at the end of the road of learning, you will become a medical doctor. So establish the reason for your learning, my dear learner, and it will be easy for you to learn. Or in the word motivation. You know, it's not very easy for a human being to do what he wants to do in life without being sure that whatever he or she is doing is going to work at the end of the day. So, O in the word of motivation stand for optimism, the power of optimism. In life, you have to be optimistic. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in what you're doing. You have to believe that it is only learning, it is only knowledge, it is only education that ultimately will give you all what you want in this world and the world to come, in this life and the life to come. You have to convince yourself that you have what it takes for you to do well in your learning. You have what it takes to become the person you want to become in life. You have what it takes for you to go through all the difficulties and the challenges of learning, and ultimately you emerge a winner. Someone wrote in one of his books, I think it's Brian Tracy, that you have to have 3 B's in life for you to continue struggling and succeeding, particularly in the path of searching for knowledge. And the 3 B's are: 1, believe in yourself, that yes, you can make it. You have what it takes to get an A. You have what it takes to become a medical doctor. You have what it takes to become an engineer. The second B, behave. Be self-disciplined. Do what you need to do when you're supposed to do it. And the last B is the B of being brave. Taking all the challenges and difficulties of learning. But ultimately, remember, at the end of every pain, there is always a pleasure. It is a normal and a common saying, and I believe you also know it. There is no gain without pain. Innamal usri yusra. It's very important for us to be optimistic. T in the word motivation. You need to be worried about time. Okay, today you're young. Today you're strong. Today you're healthy. Today your parents are there. Today there are people to support you. But time will not always be the same. You have to grow. You have to become old. Therefore, you have to look for something that will serve as a security when times of difficulties come. And there is nothing that serves as a security in the old age than knowledge. You can practice as a doctor until you die. You can teach as a teacher until you die. You can lecture as a professor until you die. But you cannot be a laborer at the age of 70. You cannot. There are some jobs you can't do when you reach a certain age. You can't play football when you're 60 years old. So it's very important to understand that time does not and is not static. You have to go with time, and you have some time to be even faster than time. So when you are worried about your time, you will always be highly motivated. I, in the word motivation, they say you do very well when you do what you love. Get interested in learning. Get interested in knowledge. The interest always will work magic, because when you love what you do it without getting tired. And when you love knowledge, you know what? Knowledge will love you in return. When you love books, books will love you in return. When you love school, school will love you in return. Nothing is difficult when you fall in love with it. My advice today is please fall in love with knowledge, and knowledge will love you, and it will be very easy. The interest will always be there. V in the word motivation. My dear brothers and sisters, we are all equal, but some of us end up becoming more important than others. We are all born the same way. We are all born babies. But at the end of the day, some of us grow to become doctors, some of us grow to become engineers, some of us grow to become professors. The choices. Therefore, it's very important to increase your values every day. The Quran says it quite clearly. هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Are they equal? Those who know and those who don't know? As I said in my previous video, those who are learned will always control those who are not learned. Those who are learned will always lead those who are not learned. Those who are learned will always be more superior than those who are not learned. Be worried about your value. The only way you can keep on increasing your value is keeping on learning and becoming more knowledgeable until you reach the highest level of your growth and development. The letter A in the word motivation. If you expect very little out of life, life will give you little. If you expect a lot in life, life will give you quite a lot. It is the law of expectancy. Therefore, if you have higher aspirations in life, you are looking for great things in life, you are looking for great place in journey, that aspiration will keep you motivated, and it will keep you moving no matter how difficult the situations will turn out to be in the process of learning, or even in the process of living your life. If your aspirations are higher, when you see where you're going, you don't get tired along the way. You will always struggle to move and move until you reach your destination. In the many books they say, Asiya, who was the wife of Pharaoh, was able to cope with Firaun because she was always expecting, her aspirations, her desires was always to go to Jannah. So nothing could disappoint her. And in learning, if you know at the end of the day you will become that great person you want to become, you will never get tired of learning. Another T in the word motivation. You must always remember, we were all born with some talents that will help us survive and live productive lives. We are all born with something special, and the moment you discover that thing that is special with you, that thing will become your motivation. Some of us, we were born to teach, and therefore every time you think about teaching, you think about how can I make myself a better teacher. Some of us, we are born to treat, and the moment you think about that skill, that ability to treat other people, you can never get tired of learning, because it is the learning that will make you that doctor who will be able to treat others. So search for your talent, and the moment you discover your talent, that talent will serve as your motivation, and it will keep you going, and it will keep you learning, and before you realize you are on the way, the sky will be your lower limit. Next I in the word motivation. It is our insight. The insight plus the foresight gives you the vision that takes you to a destiny. You go to work on your inside, because it is the inside that drives the outside. It is the software that drives the hardware. It is how you feel that ultimately influence the way you act. Therefore, if you feel you were born to become successful in life, you will always make sure you work to become successful. They say sometimes, be careful of what you think, because how you think affects the way you feel. Be careful of the way you feel, because the way you feel affects what you will do with your life. So feel great and you will do great things. Feel like a successful learner and you will always keep on learning. The insight is very, very important. Remember, what is inside is what will sustain us up to the end of our lives. The brain and the heart. And both these organs requires a lot of knowledge for them to keep on giving us the services that will make us enjoy happy and fulfilled life. The next O in the word motivation. My dear brothers and sisters, if you think with a goal in mind, if you think with an objective in mind, you will never get tired of wanting to fulfill that objective. Stephen Covey says it very clearly in his book, The 7 Habits of the Most Effective People. I think it is habit number 2. Think always with the end of mind. When you know where you're going, it becomes easy to reach there. But if you don't know where you're going, any road could lead you there and you'll never get lost. So if you have an objective in life, if you have a goal in life, if you know what you want in life, looking for it becomes very easy. And it becomes easy for you to sustain motivation because you know exactly where you are heading to. If your objective is to become a great teacher, if your objective is to become a very effective doctor, if your objective is to become a scholar, if your objective is to become an architect, an engineer, a pilot, that will be now the driving force that will make you keep on learning, and you will always be close to your books, you will always be close to the knowledge, and finally it becomes easy for you to really acquire that knowledge. And the last letter, my dear brothers and sisters, is N. And N, they say you have to nurture yourself. As you're growing up, you're changing. And remember, growing is not easy, it's difficult. But in the process of changing, you need to understand that you must nurture that change. You must nurture that growth. You must nurture that feeling. You must take good care of it. Because if you don't, it will drop and break. And at the end of the day, you will not be happy because you will not achieve your objective. We all need to nurture ourselves. We all need to be neutral. So the letter N in the word motivation, it says we need to nurture our dreams so that ultimately they become a reality. My dear brothers and sisters, motivation is a very powerful concept, and sometimes we need it. And you know what? Motivation is like shower. You need it every day. You need to remind yourself every day why you are learning. You need to remind yourself every day the effect, the cause and effects theory, that what you do affects who you become. What you do today affects who you become tomorrow. You learn today, your life becomes great tomorrow. So remember, it is always up to you to keep on motivating yourself. Intrinsic motivation is always much more effective than extrinsic motivation. If you learn how to motivate yourself, you will not need more of motivation from outside. And with motivation, everything is possible. My dear brothers and sisters, learn from me today. Life can give you anything you want, but you only have to do what it takes to get that thing which you want. Life can make you anyone you want to become, but you must do what it takes to become that person you want to become. And if you do exactly what you're supposed to do it, deliberately, consistently, believe me, nothing is possible in this world. Thank you very much, and God bless you.